Happy Friday, everyone. I wasn't gonna do an episode today, but you know, I'm stunned. While I was busy doing shows yesterday and uploading and barbecuing and sitting on the patio, I missed the most incredible thing ever. And well, let's just play it. Let's just start off because I didn't know that Mark Carney was MAGA.
Canada Strong will help make America great again.
Smoker's cough there. Okay, hold on. Let's go back.
Canada Strong will help make America great again.
Okay, and I'm supposed to be Maple MAGA, which is BS. Okay. I've already listened to it a few times. It's funnier the more I listen to it. Who is this guy? What happened to Mark Carney? Okay, I actually haven't listened to the whole clip as I haven't gone back. It won't let me go back now. There we go. I haven't listened to the whole thing, so let's give her a go.
Strong will help make America great again.
Okay.
As the United States approaches its 250th birthday, happy birthday, as the most dynamic, resilient, and inventive country the world has ever seen, as a country whose founding values of liberty, democracy, justice, and openness should continue to serve as guides to its future and the future of the world. That future should include a new partnership with Canada, a true partnership that reimagines cooperation in specific sectors that are deeply challenged by global competition, a partnership with a different Canada, a stronger Canada, a more confident Canada, a country that is applying the lessons from past crises, a country unleashing its enormous potential, a country aggressively translating our belief in openness into dozens of new partnerships, a country that's predictable, reliable, and principled in a world that's anything but. Canada Strong.
I I don't even have my laughter or my booing or my clapping buttons set up. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what to make of that. I'm sure there's all kinds of comments all over the place about it. I don't know what to make of it. Well, for one, this is precisely what he needs to be doing. These are the things that he should be saying. If we're going to get a trade deal, a little late to the party, but I, I don't, I'm baffled. I don't know how to process this, really. I'm not smart enough to really. I mean, he is really going to piss off a lot of liberals. I mean, they must be losing their ever-loving minds right now. If you're a liberal supporter, or do you think he's doing the right thing? He's done nothing for a year but bash the U.S., bash Trump, destroy our relationship even further with the U.S. Wow. My goodness. I mean, this picture says it all. Carney Strong, or sorry, Canada Strong, will make America great again, Carney says in New York City. speechless. Just. Oh, man. His MPs are going to flee like crazy. Oh, man. Things are going to get really interesting. Meanwhile, Canada slips into technical recession as economy stalls in Q1, says Stats Canada. There's no shocker there. Anywho, moving on. Some video from Scott Davidson.
They're finding themselves on the outside looking in. This Liberal government is wasting insane amounts of money and driving up inflation while our citizens can't afford to eat or house themselves. It's enough to blow the hat right off your head, Mr. Speaker. $300 million on prescribed IT scandal. $800 million on their gun buyback program. $12 billion on foreign aid. $19 billion on government insiders. $1 billion on health care for fake refugees. $200 million on a concrete launch pad. It's like something right out of Spaceballs, Mr. Speaker. Canadians are right to be angry. They're being forced into food banks, living on the streets, and waiting years for basic medical procedures while the Liberals keep on wasting taxpayer dollars. Why is it our people are always at the back of the line in their own country? And when will this Prime Minister start putting Canadians first?
And we're moving on. My buddy. Well, we've never met, but I love this guy. Ron Butler. He makes me not swear anymore. Let's give him a listen. Oblivious boomers.
I am a boomer. I'm a fucking boomer, okay? But some of these entitled fucking boomers, it takes my fucking breath away. Like, it's just fucking nuts. Like, there was an article running around social media last week. Yeah, things are really tough. We're really tough on us boomers. I've had to cut the European vacation from 8 weeks down to maybe 4. Like, fuck you. Like, these people, I don't know whether it was a joke or whether the reporters set them up for this insanity or shit, but like there's people saying, yeah, we live in Mexico in a villa in the winter because it's cold in Canada. We're so fucking rich that we live there. We're boomers and we like to take a lot of vacation in Europe in the summer and we might have to cut back because times are tough. Shut the fuck up. Like, don't do this. Don't talk anymore. Like, you're fucking crazy, boomers. Like, yeah, I understand. Like, boomers have been lucky. I know, but boomers hate to say they've been lucky. Every time I say boomers are lucky, I get 25 fucking comments about, oh no, we worked really hard. We worked hard. There's no luck involved. Fuck off. You're good lucky. The houses were only 2.5 times income. There was defined benefit pension plans when you worked. You're getting pensions. You got cheap houses when you bought them. There was luck. You could work for life at the same fucking employer. Good luck with that these days, for fuck's sakes. I mean, like, so many positives boomers had. I'm one of them. I was there. I fucking remember. So, but boomers are like wild. They like to pretend, no, it was just, we worked really hard. We took a lunch to work. Not like you latte fuckers, these young latte kids, fuck them. Like, they say shit like that all the time. And they talk about not being lucky. Oh, the interest rates are really high. But you bought the house for $100,000 and a quart of strawberries. That's all you paid, fuck. Come off it. Like, but the real problem is entitlement. The real problem is when people are doing really, really well, they don't know it. They don't know that there's a lot of people who are suffering. There's people who are working 3 jobs. There's people who have to give their pets away because they can't afford it because affordability is so hard. The price of food is so high. And you're talking about trips to Europe? Like, yeah, I get it. And I get some boomers are poor as fuck. I get that too, okay? But for the love of God, boomers, listen to me. Shut the fuck up about your entitlement bullshit. Literally nobody's buying in anymore. Just yourselves, okay? So understand that talking about how hard things were back when It's fucking stupid. The hard times are now.
Well, thank you, Ron. We're moving on. Next video. This is a good one. It's a little bit long. It's about 5 minutes. So strap in, folks. But this is Melissa Lantsman just reaming it to, what the hell's her name? What the hell is her name? I don't know. If I don't write stuff or make notes for myself, I can't remember anything because I'm a ding-dong. But the immigration minister, that dunce. I can't stand her. Anyways, let's give it a listen.
Reprise to the the honourable member for Thornhill.
I'll split my time again, Mr. Chair. Does the minister consider the IRGC to be a terrorist organization in this country, yes or no?
The honourable minister.
So thank you, Mr. Chair, for that question. This government, the Liberal government, has recognized IRGC as registered that organization, and it is inadmissible to Canada. Thank you.
The honourable member.
Mehdi Taj, then, a terrorist? Yes or no?
The honourable minister.
Mr. Chair, as I said, IRGC officials are inadmissible to Canada. There is a long-standing ban. That ban continues to be enforced.
The honourable member.
If that ban is enforced, Mr. Chair, then why was he allowed to come to Canada?
Honourable minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Our priority is the safety and security of Canadians. IRGC officials are inadmissible to Canada.
Honourable member.
She didn't answer the question. I'm just going to ask her one more time. Why was Mehdi Taj, the FIFA official who she granted, or her department granted a visa to, allowed to come to Canada? It is a very simple question.
Honourable minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. IRCC and Public Safety review each and every application at multiple stages. As I have said, IRGC officials are inadmissible to Canada.
Typical Liberal MP cannot answer simple questions, yes or no. Why is it yes or no questions don't get answered yes or no? I just don't get it.
The minister just stated, by her own rules, this man was inadmissible. Somebody in her department overruled that. Is she satisfied then with how this was handled? Yes or no?
The honourable minister.
Mr. Chair, safety and security of Canadians is our priority. We work with CBSA, we work with policing partners, we work with the public safety minister and others to ensure we protect Canadians.
Member.
All of those who are watching at home, who have been terrorized by IRGC officials who are still here, one of which who has been deported, this man, a FIFA official, was allowed to come to Canada because somebody in her department allowed her to. So I've asked her the simple question, is she satisfied with that outcome? Yes or no, for everybody watching at home.
The honourable minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Again, I will repeat again, IRGC officials are inadmissible to Canada. 17,800 applications have been reviewed for potential inadmissibility. 239 visas have been cancelled by IRCC.
The honourable member.
And yet they got into Canada. The department has now been reviewing, and it made headlines for this person coming in. The department has now been reviewing thousands of previously granted visas to non-citizens from Iran because they suspect the security checks weren't done before they entered Canada. Can she confirm that that is correct?
Honourable minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. IRGC officials are inadmissible to Canada. There is a ban in place. It continues to be there. There's 176 investigations that are opened by CBSA.
The honourable member.
Ask the minister to stop reading the talking points and just answer the question. Her department is now reviewing those who didn't have security checks. Is that true or not true for everybody listening from that community?
The honourable minister.
Mr. Chair, when it comes to inadmissibility, some travelers are never issued permission to travel. Some travelers have their authorities revoked before they travel. Other travelers are not boarded or not are deported from airports.
Member.
There are multiple
I want the minister to answer this question. If the security checks weren't done for thousands that were reviewed in the department, is the department now reviewing those, yes or no? It's very simple. Just yes or no, Minister.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. It's important to know that some people with ties to the regime had already been in Canada before these rules took place, so those people are all being investigated and will be and could be removed.
Member.
How many are still in this country? She just admitted so. Just tell us a number. How many IRGC agents? Is it more or less than 700?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, as I said, 17,800 applications have been reviewed for potential inadmissibility. IRCC suspended or canceled 239 visas, and 176 investigations are ongoing with CBSA.
Honourable Member, final question.
Many of them are still in Canada. Just a number, Minister. You must know this. Your officials are sitting in front of you. Ask them.
Chief Government Whip.
We're seeing some very experienced members of this House not follow the basic procedural rules of speaking to a minister through the chair. So perhaps you can remind this member that her questions are supposed to be through you and directed to you, not the minister directly.
Thank the Chief Government Whip for the point of order. Yes, that is the case. The members are supposed to speak through the chair, not directly to the minister. The question has been put. The minister has 15 seconds to respond.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I have answered the question a number of times. Member may not like the response, but I have already provided those answers.
Okay. 17,000? Am I think I'm listening to this wrong. Okay, I had to put it on pause and go to Melissa Lantsman's page because I thought I read this and then I thought I heard it wrong. So the immigration minister admits that there's over 17,000 people in Canada that have been investigated. Yeah, this is me reading. Investigated for ties to the IRGC. She admits they're here, but she won't say how many visas have been revoked. She's only deported one person. What the hell is going on? Ooh. 17,000. So I did hear it right, correctly, and I did read it right. Wow. You know what? I typically stay away from the IRGC stuff and all these terrorist stuff. I really stay away from it. I watched this video and I'm like, this can't be. But, because I really don't need to be, ended by any of these people. But, anyways, baffling. Just baffling. I mean, how badly do you have to suck at your job to let 17,000 people through? Now, I know she wasn't always the immigration minister. There was people before her, but how badly do all these people have to suck at their job to let that happen? Anyways, moving on. Google revolts against Bill C-22, warns Canadians of mass surveillance. Scott Davidson says Bill C-22 would give Mark Carney's Liberal government sweeping surveillance powers over your private information and put privacy, security, and freedom of Canadians at risk. Conservatives are fighting back to stop the liberal surveillance agenda. This is bullshit. This has to be stopped. And it's going to take the Americans to stop it. Otherwise, they just won't. Well, they're not going to allow us to use Google, I guess. Moving on. I guess this was for last night. Tonight, the CN Tower will be lit red for Menstrual Health Day. Good God. Even better is the comments. This one guy says, I can't wait for Men's Testicular Health Day. Just need a big pair to hang off the tower. Oh. Alright, I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna get in trouble. And I'm back. Was I gone? Yes, I was. I had to go get a fresh cup of coffee. Cheers. Swig of coffee to all my fellow hard-working Canadians out there, no matter how you vote. Oh, yeah, another swig. How you doing out there? You alright? It's Friday, but a lot of people still work on weekends too, which sucks. But hopefully, any of you watching this, you get the weekend to yourselves. Got another video here with Melissa LANTSMAN. This is about how stupid this Netflix tax is. Just wait till you listen to this.
Campus is the number one.
Hold on. Sorry. Here we go.
Off Campus is the number one show on Prime Video right now. It's filmed in Vancouver. It's based on a Canadian author's book. It features music from a Canadian band. And by every common sense measure, it's a Canadian story told by Canadians. But under the CRTC's own rules, it doesn't qualify as Canadian content. Not $1 of this new tax flows to productions like it. So what exactly are we funding? We're not funding the things that Canadians are actually watching. Remember, it's the number one show, and folks in this house might not know it because it's a young adult audience. But that's what people are watching and celebrating. We are funding what Ottawa has decided counts. It's a distinction that says everything about who this policy actually serves. Canadian stories cannot and will not succeed just because we've taxed our way to cultural relevance. They'll succeed because those stories are worth telling and people want to hear them. Off campus.
So, make that make sense to me. Somebody. Leave it in the comments, please. Text me. Whatever. Message me. Make that make sense. Because that doesn't compute. So, they tax us, and the money's supposed to go into Canadian content, and it doesn't even do that. Just more liberal bullshit. And while we're on the same subject,
Rachel Thomas sponsored the opposition motion, and she is with me now live. Hi, Ms. Thomas. It's a pleasure to welcome you to our show. Thanks very much for making the time.
Hi, Vashti. Great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
So as I understand the argument that your party is making, it's that these, big American companies should not have to pay a portion of their revenues towards Canadian content. And I'm wondering why your party is fighting essentially for American firms to pay less taxes, but you're okay with Canadian firms paying into this fund.
Well, I think ultimately what it comes down to is this is a tax that is going to be imposed on the Canadian consumer. Folks who have a Netflix subscription, a Crave subscription, a Disney Plus subscription, a Spotify subscription, all of these Canadians are going to now have to pay 15% more for their streaming services. And so that said, it's really about Canadians. It's really about fighting for affordability for them. Look, already they're hard hit. Gas costs more, groceries cost more, housing costs more, all because of punitive policies put in by the current Liberal government. We're fighting for those Canadians to help make life more affordable. This tax doesn't fit in that scheme.
I certainly would not argue for any additional taxes on Canadians. I understand the point that you're making there. This is, if it is passed on to consumers, that's contingent on the decision. It's not a direct tax from the government, is what I'm saying. It's contingent on the decision from these companies, which some have said, to be fair, that they are going to pass that on to consumers, right? But it's not in its truest form a tax that the government is levying on consumers themselves. My point in the original question, Ms. Thomas, though, was why is it okay for there to be additional cost burdens on Canadian companies and none on American companies who want to do business here? I mean, the impetus for the levy is essentially to force these companies to have something to do with Canadian content while they operate here. Why is that inherently so bad?
Well, let me address the first part of your question, because with all due respect, I don't think it's quite correct. In 2023, the government directed the CRTC to move in this direction. But under Section 7.1 of the Broadcasting Act, the government actually has the power, the ability, Cabinet has the ability to instruct the CRTC to actually rescind this action, this decision to impose this 15% tax. So the Cabinet does have the opportunity. And I would say they have the responsibility, given the state of our economy and the state in which Canadians find themselves. Look, we have record numbers of people lining up to use the food bank. We have, Canadians reporting that they're spending 120% of their income on rent and food. 120%. So not just their full income, but they're actually having to go into debt in order to be able to provide for their families. It would be incumbent then upon the government to do all that it can in its power to make life more affordable for those Canadians that are struggling to get by. This is one of those actions that the government can responsibly take.
I certainly wasn't saying that they can't reverse this. I agree with you that there are sections that allow them to intervene in this case, and I think they're not even fighting that necessarily, because they've said that they're, Minister Miller, for example, won't come out with a specific statement yet on it. He says he's just reviewing it. My point was more that it's not the government taxing consumers in the way they do through other reasons. They're taxing companies, and those companies can pass on the tax to consumers, and therefore I understand your point that ultimately we could, but it's not accurate to say that the government is adding this additional tax directly to consumers.
But I think that's where it's a distinction without a difference. It ultimately will land on the plate of the consumer. It ultimately will come out of the consumer's bank account.
So are we not supposed to tax any companies because they can pass it on to consumers?
I think in this case, you have a punitive tax that got raised from 5% to 15% without any reasonable justification given. And that is going to go directly onto the backs of consumers at a time when they can least afford it. And not only that, but the truth is Canada as a country can least afford it. Because at the end of the day, the US has been very clear that this decision is a massive trade irritant at a time when we are trying to get a deal. I mean, we're supposed to be at the table talking about CUSMA and its review. We're supposed to be advocating for Canada. What happened to CARNEY's promises that his elbows would be up and that he would put our country first? Certainly by allowing the CRTC to move forward with this decision and without intervening, the Liberals are putting their elbows down and they're failing Canadians.
But the justification that the CRTC has put forward is essentially, if you're going to do business here in Canada, then like other Canadian broadcasters and other companies that have to pay towards this, you're going to have to contribute too. Like inherently, if you're against, it just feels like your party is very against this taxation of American companies. Why are you not equally upset about the taxation of Canadian companies, or the principle more largely? Like, these are big companies who want to do business in Canada. Should none of them be taxed?
We wish that the government would allow, in this case, the media industry to exist and function with greater freedom and make the investments that it needs to make in order to produce content that Canadians love to consume. At the end of the day, the Liberal government had two choices when it went about reconstructing the Broadcasting Act. It could level the playing field in favor of a more free society and allowing all broadcasters the opportunity to pursue opportunity and to produce, again, what consumers are demanding. Or it could be punitive in nature and increase the tax on everyone and increase instruction in terms of content that should be created. The government took the latter step. At the end of the day, it's consumers that are going to be hurt. They are being hurt because it is resulting in more money out of their pockets. I mean, just already, this decision came out last week, and over the weekend, Spotify made an announcement that consumers can expect their subscription fee to go up in July. Other streamers have indicated that they are looking to do the same. This will be passed down to consumers. It is a tax. It is absolutely a tax.
And I totally understand that point. Like I said, I agree with the assessment that these companies can pass them on to consumers. But ultimately, that is a decision of the companies. Those companies make a ton of money, and they have a huge profit margin right now. They could absorb that cost and not pass it on to consumers?
right.
Why is the culpability, in your view, entirely with the government and not with those companies?
So if we take a company like Netflix, they're a company that invests tens of millions of dollars into the Canadian economy on an annual basis. They produced about 7,500 jobs last year. They are functioning in places like Vancouver. They're functioning throughout Alberta. They are operating in Atlantic Canada and in Quebec. They are drawing talent from across our country and giving opportunity to these folks to shine and to make an income. That's a pretty good deal. And when the government decides to step in and apply a punitive measure like this streaming tax, it causes a company like Netflix to start to coil and question whether or not it can in fact continue to exist within our ecosystem, or whether or not it's in its best interest. So at the end of the day, it's not only punitive towards the consumer who has the subscription, but it's also punitive towards Canadians as a whole in terms of our economic advantage and our ability to draw investment into our country.
Okay, I'm out of time, Ms. Thomas. I'll leave it on that note. I appreciate you making the time for the conversation. Thank you. Rachel.
So there you have it, folks. What do you think about all that? I'm not even sure what Canadian companies would be taxed that are creating Canadian content. I don't know, I guess CBC, but I mean, do they pay tax? They're getting $1 point something billion from the government, so I don't know how that all works. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. Just know that I'm going to start paying more. I guess, if it really did help to make Canadian content on these platforms, but as you watched in the clip before, it doesn't. So it doesn't really help anything other than a money grab. And we're back, and look what time it is, everybody. Hello, Stanley. How you doing, Tinkerbell? Alrighty. Alright, let's get this all set up. It's dad joke time. Oh, sorry. Where am I going to put my coffee? Alright, first joke. Alright, let's get the sound effects ready. Hold on. I had this all set up, now I screwed it. Alright. How do you find a leopard in the dark? You use a spotlight. Maybe that should have been a boo. Oh, man. Let's move this back here. This was set up, I'm sorry. Let's pause this. All of a sudden, I'm having issues with everything. Oh, this one sucks. Oh, well. My favorite Stephen King novel is the one about the clown. You've probably heard of it. Nah, that sucked. Actually, you know what? I've got the best joke. Alright, here we go. We're gonna end this on the best joke of the day.
Canada Strong will help make America great again.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna go over well. Well, anywho, that's it for me. That's it for probably the show this week, I guess. We'll see what happens over the weekend. And, thanks for watching. Thanks for spending time with me, and hope you learned something. I learn something every day while I'm doing this. And hit like, subscribe, share, leave a comment or two, and, as always, you have been a dynamite audience, and you deserve to give yourselves a round of applause. Anyways, thanks again. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God bless, and all that jazz.